Welcome to the Mind Your Wedding Business podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Dennis. In addition to leading the charge at Wedding IQ, I also run Fantasy Sound Event Services, a lighting and entertainment company based in Livermore, California, that I founded over 30 years ago. Each week on this podcast, you'll hear thought-provoking and empowering interviews with wedding professionals who have found success in the industry. If you're a business-minded wedding pro who loves love, but also cares about their bottom line, buckle up and get ready to learn from a new industry expert each week. Welcome to another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business, and I'm here with the one and only Marc McIntosh today, and we are going to be talking about, is your wedding website ready for the AI shakeup? And I'm really excited to dive into this topic with Marc, because I was telling Marc before we get on, my daughter is constantly asking Alexa about my business, and sometimes I pop up and sometimes I don't. So I feel like somewhere along the road, I need to figure out how to fix that. So, but Marc, welcome to the program. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got you here today?
Sure. I'm Marc McIntosh with Team Wedding. And what Team Wedding does is we like to help awesome wedding pros have marketing that is equally awesome. So what we primarily do is outsource marketing. So a company will come to us instead of hiring a marketing person in-house that generally, for what they can afford, has a very limited skill set. They instead work with us, and we call ourselves fractional CMOs, fractional chief marketing officers. So instead of hiring a person, you hire our team, and then we do anything that is related to your marketing, from SEO to Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok ads, to designing brochures and graphics, and you name it. If it touches the market, it is in our purview. And so we do a lot of that. Through that, we discovered that the weak link in almost everybody's marketing chain is their website. And so we got into the website development business because we didn't like what was out there. Most wedding or most website developers just don't get this wedding industry. It is so unique, with the constant turnover of every week people getting engaged and moving into the market, and every week people getting married and moving out, and you have this really short window to take them from grabbing their attention to making the sale or not making the sale. And that's way different than most types of businesses. So we build a lot of websites. You don't have to be our marketing client. A lot of times the people will go from the website build into becoming a marketing client, but that's certainly not a requirement. But we've done a lot of good stuff in that space also.
I love it. All right. So I'm ready to dive into talking about websites and AI and all the good stuff right now, Marc. So everyone's talking about AI right now. From your perspective, what's actually changing for wedding professionals versus just hype?
There is going to be a big shift, because if you are relying on SEO, meaning getting ranked high on Google, or if you're relying on the wedding planning websites, like, both of those things are going to become less and less relevant over time. And for a couple of different ways. Google's easy. If you go into Google today and do a search, chances are the AI overview will show up before you get to the links. So more often than not, couples are finding their answer there rather than scrolling down. So it doesn't matter if you rank at the top, or it doesn't matter if you bought an ad on Google to buy your way to the top. All of that is not at the top anymore. Yeah. And so the AI overviews are taking over for that. But the bigger one is with the directory websites. And the Knots and WeddingWires and Zolas of the world, like, they had their day. They had a really good run because they kind of tamed the beast of Google, where you go there and search for something and get tens of thousands of results. And they pulled all of the wedding things together in one place and made it, in its day, very easy to go find everything that you needed. But the process takes a long time, because you go to the wedding website, you go to your region, you go to your category, you're faced with hundreds of choices. You start clicking on storefronts and reading and comparing and looking at reviews and all of that. And it was relatively convenient compared to the alternatives. But today, there is a much better way of doing this. And I stood on stages in 2018 and said, the future of wedding planning is walking into your kitchen and saying, "Hey, Alexa, I just
Mm.
got engaged. Help me plan my wedding." Now, in 2018, we didn't know what ChatGPT was, but I think I was pretty spot on. And we're
Yeah.
kind of there because today, a couple can go to their favorite AI model. I favor ChatGPT, but you can go there and say, "Hey, I am planning a wedding in San Francisco,
Hmm.
and I'm looking for a DJ. I'm looking for a energetic, fun-loving DJ. My venue is this. It would be valuable if they have worked in that venue before. Uh, Give me a list of options. I would like to see who, and I've got a budget of $3,000 or whatever that budget is. Help me narrow this down. Give me a list of the top DJs in the area that meet my criteria. Give me their average review rating. Give me their pluses and their minuses, what extra services they offer, and provide it and give me a link to their website and provide it to me in a spreadsheet. And in
Hmm.
90 seconds, what would have taken hours to do on the wedding websites is now done for them. Now, yeah, every marketing opportunity has its day. I mean, it used to be the yellow pages.
Yeah.
That was replaced by Google. The catalog shopping replaced by Amazon. This is the next big replacement. And so if you're relying on that, you've got to prepare yourself for the day that those things are less and less relevant. And I think that that's coming in the next couple of years. And the challenge with AI is that you can't buy your way to the top. You
Mm.
can buy your way to the top on the wedding websites. You just pay extra money. You can buy your way to the top of Google, either with doing good SEO or buying Google ads. You cannot buy your way to the top of AI searches. Now, I say that, and ChatGPT just announced that they're going to start selling ads,
Oh,
and
geez. I
everybody
didn't know
we're
that.
jumping on that. But right now, it's a minimum ad spend of 200K,
Oh.
and it's not, you're not buying your way into the result. It's an ad that pops up below. So that's not
Uh,
going to be like buying Google ads to move your way to the top. So that is the change. And it makes your website even more important than it ever was, because your website has two goals. You need to attract people to it and then
yeah.
move them through the sales funnel. But now you also have to attract the attention of the AI models to index you.
And then, so how do professionals do that? Because I feel like we, for so long, we're attracting Google to our website, but now we have to attract something different to our website. So how do we go about that?
It is somewhat similar to SEO. And I
Okay.
can tell you that, most wedding pros, like, SEO is that wizard behind the curtain that they never paid that much attention to. But you have to pay attention now. Probably the biggest thing is having more content on
Mm,
your pages.
okay.
We are recommending, and websites that we're building today have 2 to 3 times more content than sites that we were building even a year ago. We're
Mm,
recommending on your regular website pages 250 to 500 words of written copy. We are also recommending blog posts of 1,500 to 2,000 words, where
wow.
you dive deeper into those topics. And as you're writing that copy, and I will tell you about a strategy that you can use to do this. You have to do keyword research, find out what people are searching for in your area, because it varies geographically for what you sell.
Hmm.
You need to work that into what you do. But you also have to answer questions. When you think about it, every AI prompt or every Google search is really someone asking a question. And you can phrase even your headlines as a question and then answer that question below.
Mm.
That seems to be the strategy that is moving the needle most often.
Wow, it's a lot to be thinking about, and especially because I felt like for a little bit there, everyone was telling us less content, less this, less that, and now we're changing and going back to more.
You
So,
know, creatives hate content heavy pages.
yeah.
Marketers don't necessarily like it either.
Mhm.
But the reality is that that's what you need to do to be found. Now, it doesn't mean your web page has to look like a textbook. You
Yeah.
can definitely arrange it in a way so that you do bullet points and you do highlights and then have the copy further down and do FAQs on the page. You know, we're now recommending FAQs on every page, not just on a FAQs page of like putting wedding FAQs on the weddings page and uplighting FAQs on that page. That seems to be moving the needle. The great thing about this is that with traditional SEO, which is
Mhm.
designed to attract traditional, i.e., Google searches, Google keeps this big repository of everything. It is crawling websites all the time and then is storing all that information. And then Google has 250 ranking factors that go into you or I do a Google search. 250 factors go into who shows up and what order they show up.
Mhm.
The problem is you make changes to your website today and you can tell Google stuff's new on here, please crawl it, but that's a suggestion, not an order. And
Yeah.
so you're in their rotation. It may take 4 to 6 months to move the needle with a change that you make today. With AI searches, they have the bandwidth. They're not storing as much. They're pretty much going out there in real time and finding the information. So
Oh.
changes that you make today could technically move the needle tomorrow.
Wow, that's yeah, what a difference in an amount of time, especially for people that are going out there and actually actively blogging or actively putting information out there. So, all right, so we're talking a lot about AI right now. And how does AI affect trust when it comes with a client, like searching businesses or any of that kind of stuff?
Okay, so I'll start that with a question that I just used in a couple of presentations,
Okay.
and I said, when you are selling to a client or a prospective client, what is more important, or what is the most important? To be
Hmm.
known, to be liked, or to be trusted?
I would say trusted.
I asked this question to 1,000 people in a room at Wedding
Uh-huh.
MBA,
Uh-huh.
and no one raised their hand for the one that is the most important,
And which is
to be known,
known. Okay.
because the liked and trusted is important. But if
Yeah,
they don't know you exist, you can never get to those two places.
it makes sense now that you say that. Yes.
And so being known, being found is the most important. That is the first step.
Okay.
And then once they know you, then you can work on the liked and the trusted. So a few things with that: social proof is putting testimonials on every page of your website, testimonial snippets of just like one sentence things that scroll, and then have another page with your longer form testimonials. And then another thing that I like, this is not so much um for for AEO, which is like the SEO equivalent for, it's called answer engine optimization, but it's making your website the hub of everything about you.
Mm,
If you want to know why, whenever you do a search for anything wedding related in any city of the country, the Knot and WeddingWire show up at the top of every one of those before everybody else locally shows up. It's really simple. And it was a genius move on their part. They give you those badges, best of.
yeah.
And then they also house your reviews over there. So you've got 50,000 wedding pros linking over to their profiles on the Knot and Wedding Wire. It's not anything magic. It's like Google, one of those 250 ranking factors is how important are you? And one of the things they look at is how many other websites link to you. And so when everybody's linking over there, uh, Google says, hey, they must be the most important.
Yeah.
And so that is when you see that happening, just know that it is a scenario that we as an industry created for ourselves.
Mm.
So what I like to do is, you have them on your website. That is the last stop before they schedule a tour, schedule a meeting, fill out a contact form, take that next step. You do not want to send them anywhere else. And
Yeah.
that includes to see your reviews, because it is possible to embed your Knot and WeddingWire reviews right into your website so they don't have to leave your website to see them. You can embed your Google reviews, and everybody should be sending their reviews over to Google anyway. That is
Yeah.
the best place to have them. And you can embed those on your website as well. You can embed your Instagram feed into your site. You can embed your TikTok feed into your website so that because as soon as they go away, they're going to go down a rabbit hole. They go to the Knot to see your reviews. And what are they also going to see are ads for
Everybody
your
else.
competitors.
Yeah.
And they may go down a rabbit hole that they never come back to you. You've got them on your site. Do not send them away. But as far as the gaining of trust, showing those, having those available, and AI will also pick up on those. The other one is being super transparent in your pricing on your website, at least giving people some idea of what it costs. And there's all kinds of excuses like, oh, everything I do is customized, or I don't want my competitors to find my prices. That's the dumbest excuse of all.
Yeah, I can say that's the
Or
stupidest
I
one.
want to get them in a meeting and then I can show my value and then they'll pay
Yeah.
whatever I want. All of those things are passe now, because here's what happens. If you don't show your prices, the consumer wants to know that. I mean, they've been trained over on WeddingWire. Every one of those storefronts, that contact form and that button doesn't say, tell me about your company. Tell me how awesome you are. Tell me what great job you're going to do at my wedding. It says request pricing. So people think like that's all they need to know. And that's what they want to know that.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have your pricing on your website, I could just go to ChatGPT and ask, hey, this company doesn't have pricing on their website. Can you tell me how much they charge? So it's going to do, first of all, it's going to go to your website to see. And then if you don't have it there, it will go look somewhere else. And that somewhere else could be a Reddit post that somebody talked about, or your reviews where somebody talked about it, or you have starting at price on your storefronts on the wedding websites. Somewhere it will find something. Or worse yet, it is going to make something up that may not be accurate. Or worse yet, it's going to say, oh, they're probably premium priced and expensive because they don't have prices on their website. So you might as well just give it up and be transparent. So that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to feed the AI models. It's going to make for a better customer journey, and it's going to help people weed themselves out. So if if you're a DJ with a $3,000 price tag, if their budget's $2,500, you might be able to get them up. But if their budget's $500, you're never going to get them to $3,000.
No.
So why even waste your time? So it helps you attract your right fit client, and it helps you detract the people that are not ever going to buy from you or are going to waste your time. So I'm a big advocate for being transparent. And if your prices range, like do something. Say, our prices range from X to Y, with most couples investing Z.
Yeah.
At least give them some idea of what they're in for. And, it will help a lot of different things. Most importantly, feeding that AI model what it needs, because you don't want them guessing. You want to give them, what you need. And the next step, not quite here yet, but the next step is putting your availability on your website, so that when I do that prompt, I can say, give me a list of the ones that are available on my wedding date. And we've got to be prepared for that also.
Yeah, the Knot's really pushing their
advertisers to do the availability. It's a big thing for them, and it just makes it hard for someone like our company that does multiple events, and so you know, we on a given day we'll do anywhere from 6 to 8 weddings. So it's hard to say
Mhm.
are we available or not because a lot of it is based on size and scope and all that kind of stuff.
But
So
you have to, like, look toward the day when it is to your advantage to give some idea if you're open or not,
yeah, yeah.
and then be, just start looking at how that's going to work.
Yeah, and you were talking about pricing. We had Adriana McDermott on the podcast earlier, and she went down a whole rabbit hole about Reddit, and she was saying that there's uh, threads out there that will have like Chicago wedding photographers, and it'll have a spreadsheet of what everybody and people are feeding the beast, so to speak, and putting your pricing information in this spreadsheet that you didn't even know existed. It was out there, so it's insane.
One of the things with Reddit, and the great thing about ChatGPT is that when it gives you a response, it tells you where it pulled that information
Yeah,
from. And Reddit, Reddit is legit user generated content. It's not your marketing copy. So the AI models love that stuff where it's
yeah,
actual real people talking about your company. So it is relying on, I mean, Reddit's been around for years, but it's taken on a new significance now when AI is relying on it. Google's relying on it too, because they've got a partnership. So it is
yeah.
having things over there, being over there, posting over there, not doing blatant sales things because you'll
No.
get called
That
out right away for that, but giving advice and writing things about relevant topics is another one of those ways to, as you said, feed the beast on
yeah,
AI to get shown up because it's all about content. Back in 2018, when I stood on that stage and talked about Alexa planning my wedding, it was like the people who are going to win in that environment are the ones who deliver the most content. And that's website content, social media content, message boards like Reddit and Quora content. The more you're out there, you're casting that wider net for the AI models to find you.
yeah, I love it. All right, so we're talking about websites and AI. What are some, like, signs that your website's not ready for the AI shift?
Well, there is some tools, and I'm going to make this offer to everybody later of getting a website audit with me. And one of the tools that we run is something that I can tell you how much you're showing up in AI searches.
Mm,
And there is definitely the haves and the have-nots on there. I can also tell you what people are searching for when they find your website and the goal. Like, yeah, oftentimes you get a brand search, which is searching for your company name. Now, Google will take credit for those, even though it has really nothing to do with that. Somebody has been referred to you, or you've been referred to a company, or
mhm,
you saw something and you have the company's name in your head, and you go Google it to find their website. Like that's not SEO. SEO is creating awareness where awareness does not exist. Showing up high for a search for your company name, like that's a given
yeah,
that they're going to find you there. But it's SEO and AEO is all about creating awareness where there is none, which in this wedding industry is in the vast number of cases when they are searching. And so the a few things that I like to get people to help them prepare because there is this concept that I call subtractive shopping. And what subtractive shopping is, and you do it every time you go to Amazon and search for something and you have 500 choices for whatever it is you're searching for. You have your own criteria, whether
mhm,
it's got to be Prime or it's got to be 5-star, 4-star reviews. You've got your own criteria because let's say a couple is looking for a venue and they go to the traditional ways of searching and in their city they find 150 venues on the Not or WeddingWire, or in Google, they find 1,000. They're not going to tour 100 venues.
no.
They're going to tour 10. They're going to talk to 20 and they're going to tour 10. So how do
Mhm,
they get from that massive list to the usable short list? This is where subtractive shopping comes in. Everybody's got their own ways of doing it. They look at reviews, they look at, they look at your Instagram, whatever. What they always do is visit your website. And what's going to happen is they're going to open up 20 tabs of you and everybody else. And then they perceive at that point that they have unlimited choices. And they've got a short time to get this list narrowed down to who they're going to reach out to. So they are very quick to bounce out. And the goal is to not get bounced and to at least get them to spend some time on your site so that you can then get them to take that next step. I call it prejection. When you did something right to create awareness and you got them to your website, but then they didn't go any further. They came, they saw, they reviewed, and they left. No contact whatsoever and no second chance. That is costly because you did something right to create awareness and get them to open up that tab. And if you lost them at that stage, that is so costly. Oftentimes, more often than not, when a prospective marketing client comes to us, they all have the same pain point. I need more leads. If I can get more leads, I'll get more appointments and I'll get more sales. But more often than not, we find that they have plenty of leads. They just don't know it because they are losing them somewhere along the way. I like to joke, and we coined this term. So we all know the concept of the sales funnel, where leads go in the top of the funnel and your magic happens in the middle and sales come out. Problem is, most wedding pros don't have a sales funnel. They have a sales colander where they pour the leads in the top and they leak out everywhere along the way. And so if you can stop those leaks from happening, you can then move more of those people who were aware further along in the process so that they don't preject you and bounce out. You solve that, and that you don't necessarily need to get more leads. You just need to better work the leads that you have. So let me give you, a couple tips for how that works. Not so much on the AI side, but just the general user experience side. The first one is I like to say is make your hero the hero. The hero section of your website is that first thing that people see when they get there. The top, not your menu, but the top thing you're showing them before they scroll. That is not the place to have cute slogans. That's not the place to just show images in your logo.
Okay.
In that part, before they have to scroll, even on a phone, you have to tell them who you are, what you do, and where you do it. And as a benefit, if you can work in some reason why you're better than everybody else that intrigues them enough to keep scrolling on the page, if they don't get past that point, like you've lost them. And so you've got to use that for its intended purpose, or the best purpose of all is to get them to, wow, okay, this is perfect for me. It is, and you put a little cute slogan in there, they may feel like they're lost and that they don't know, that they don't even know what you do. And again, they perceive they have a whole lot of more websites they can look at, further down their tabs. And so they'll be quick to bounce out. Another one is what I see so often is websites that are selling stuff. Venues love to sell stuff. DJs love to sell stuff. You're jumping into the uplighting and the dancing in the clouds and the cold sparklers and all of that stuff that is not important before they are sold on the DJ.
Yeah.
And they're not buying. I see so many DJ websites, and we talked beforehand that was my first career in this industry. I see so many DJ websites that are all about selling the stuff, selling the equipment. They're not selling what people are really buying, which is dancing.
Yeah.
Venues love to sell stuff. Here's all the things that you get and how many hours you get it for and all of this. It's like that stuff's important at some point along the way, but the stuff is not important early on. And, when you're describing your stuff, they don't know what you know. They don't know how that stuff plays into what they are really buying, which is that end result, which is what they're buying an amazing wedding. They're not buying the components. And so when you are talking about how those features play into that end result, you need to follow up every feature with a so that. We have beautiful uplighting so that the atmosphere of your room will match the theme of your wedding. You can have fewer bullet points, but when you do the so that's, you're now telling them why this should be important to them, how it plays into the end result, what's in it for them. And so that is just a different approach to take rather than all of those bullet points. All right. Show your pricing. I got a little list here. I want to make sure I got everything.
Love it. I love it.
All right. This is a big one. Proposing before the first date.
Oh,
I see this so often. When the first time visitor is coming to your website, they are there to check you out. They don't want necessarily to make a commitment. And that commitment could be filling out a contact form. They're not ready to do that yet. You need to sell them on it. Now, calls to action on your website are super important. Having buttons throughout the website that take them to that next step is good. But I see so many websites that jump right into get a quote, check availability. I saw one, and I use this in one of my talks. Like the hero section of the website for this DJ was a contact form. And one of the questions was services needed, required answer, that you're asking them what services they need before you've told them what services you do
provide. Yeah.
And that is just if you push them too fast, again, they're going to bounce out. You want them to reach out, but you want to let them jump off to that reach out point along the way as you're telling them why they should be interested in you and why they should reach out. All right. The other one, and this is important for everybody, is to get them into the smaller room. And what I mean by the smaller room is to get them onto a page on your website that talks specifically about what they are buying. For example, a venue. A venue can do multiple types of events. A DJ can do multiple types of events. If weddings are the most important part of your business, make those the most prominent. If but an example, we built a website for a venue, and this venue literally rents 4 walls and some tables and chairs. That's it. So what they do for every type of event is really the same. The prices are the same. Services are the same. Everything is the same. For weddings, they do a little bit more because you can do a ceremony and whatnot. But still, they have pages built out for wedding receptions, wedding ceremonies, rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, anniversary parties, corporate events, showers. Every one of those things has its own page. So then when someone is searching for venue for a birthday party in this city, and you have a page built out about that, you're going to rank higher than the venue that has a 1-page bullet point list of all the kinds of events that they can do. So you're helping feed the search, but you're also creating a great customer journey for the prospective buyer because you've got a page that is all about them and they're not getting distracted with all of the other things that you do. Like you don't want, on a DJ page, like you don't want to talk about quinceaneras and bar and bat mitzvahs on the same page as weddings. You need a separate page for each of those. And then, for all of your special effects and uplighting and all of that, a separate page for each of those so that you can, again, it's casting a wider net for search. So those are just some really basic things that you can do to your site to create a way better customer journey. But let's talk about specifically all this copy that Mark McIntosh says that you need to have on your website. How are you going to write that? And of course, we're going to use AI to write that. So let me give you a little step by step as to how to do this, because you can turn around and go do this yourself.
Love it.
So what you want to do, and again, I'm going to kind of speak in terms of ChatGPT, but you can use any AI model to do that. First thing that you want to do is to pay the $20 a month get the paid version where you can store things. And then you want to create a custom GPT for writing copy for your website. And before you are asking it to write anything, you're going to train the AI model with a bunch of stuff. So you're going to start this by, I'm going to ask you eventually to write copy for website. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you some things to work with. The things to work with is the first one you want to give them is a list of the keywords that you do through your keyword research. Now, there's a great tool. It's free, at least for limited use, called answerthepublic.com. And the Answer the Public is going to show you what people are asking for. You put in what you do, wedding venue in this city, and it's going to show you what people are searching for. So you can use that. You can also use people also ask on Google. You'll see that section shows up on searches. You can see what people are asking for. There's other keyword tools. So you want to just you'll know most of them, what you want to show up for when people search. So that is step one. Step two is that you want to cut and paste all of your reviews. Go to Google, not WeddingWire, just copy and paste all of your reviews and then put those in. What this does is trains the AI model as to what's important about you. Now, if I ask you, Kevin, tell me 10 reasons why your company is awesome, you're going to give me 25 reasons, and that's fine. But I know that there's probably 1 or 2 or 3 of those reasons that rise to the top that are driving the vast majority of your sales. And so what's important to your previous customers are going to be important to your next customers. So find out what the hot buttons are, and then you can use that instead of this whole list of why we're awesome. You can focus on the things that are most important to your prospective buyers.
Yeah.
So you want to do that. You put all those in, and you'll learn some interesting things. We built a website for a brewery in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Brewery that also has a 350-seat reception venue. So they came to us for a website for that. We ended up building the entire brewery. It's huge. They make massive amounts of beer. They have cans. You buy them in stores. They're also a block from Lambeau Field. So they do tailgating for 1,500 people. We put all their reviews in. And what rose to the top is what are the top reasons people like this brewery is that it is dog friendly. There is nothing on their website about it being dog friendly. So we built out a whole page, and we never would have known that had it not been for the reviews. And so you'll learn a lot about, hey, what do people like? What do people not like about me? And then you can use that to write that copy so that you're hitting those hot buttons. You're also going to want to write a 100-word description of your company. Just basic, tell the model about you. Then you want to upload a list of maybe 20 or more features and benefits, all those things that you do and why you're great, and just a bullet point list of all of those things of, what you do, the results that you give, and why you're awesome. And then you are going to upload all of your existing copy from brochures, copy from your storefronts, copy from your existing website, all that stuff that you have written about you. And then finally, you're going to give a list with URLs of your most direct competitors. Now you have given the AI model something to work with. And so from there, then you start asking questions. And if you do the paid version, you can create this and use it all the time. So then you'll go in, now that you have, and then the other thing to ask is, as I give you prompts, do not answer the prompt until you are 90% certain that you are clear on what I am asking you. And then also say, write this so that it does not sound like it is AI generated. Do not use emojis and do not use M dashes. I didn't know what an M dash was until I start seeing it. And it's that double dash that AI uses that no one else uses, that you have to, that just smacks of AI. So you can train it to not do those things. And then you can ask a question. Describe our unique selling points in clear emotional language targeted to 20 to 30-year-old engaged couples. Write an opening section for the homepage that is conversational and engaging, but still keeping with our brand tone. Write the copy for a page about fill in the blank that includes sections, headlines, body copy, and calls to action. Using those kinds of questions, once you have trained the model about you, it's going to come up with amazing content that you can do. I mean, it takes time. You can have somebody do it for you, but that's the strategy we use. Now, we're not, when we build websites, we're not cutting and pasting that copy directly to the site. It's going through quality control and real people and editors and the client, making sure that it is accurate. If you have somebody build a website for you, like, we're writing stuff about a company we don't know a whole lot about. And you need to make sure all the FAQs, all of that, like, you want to review all of that stuff for accuracy before it goes live. And that's part of our process. But that will help you really write copy that is friendly for the search engines, friendly for the AI search engines, and provides a good customer experience.
I love it. All right, Mark, we're coming up on our time. So you've given everyone so much information. Where can wedding pros learn more about you and Team Wedding Marketing?
Okay, so you can go to teamwedding.com, teamweddingmarketing.com, both work. You can, what I'd like to offer everybody, and I do these all the time, I do 150 of them a year, free of charge. I will jump on a Zoom with you.
Okay.
And we will review your website in real time. We'll go through every page, look at the customer journey, look at what's there, look at what's missing. I'll run some tech tools, see how people are finding it, see how many people are finding it, and give you some practical advice for how to make improvements. And, again, we'll spend 45 minutes to an hour doing that. No charge, no obligation. What's the catch? The catch is, if it makes sense, and only if it makes sense, we can talk about how we could be your shortcut to the goal of having a better website. So to get to that and to sign up for that, there's 2 steps. You fill out a little form and then you schedule a call. It'll automatically generate, put it on, check my calendar, create the Zoom room. Everything's automated. So go to teamweddingmarketing.com/podcast. teamweddingmarketing.com/podcast, and that will take you to the page. Fill out the form, schedule a call, and I look forward to spending some time getting to know you and giving you some advice on that website.
And Mark will have all that information in the show notes, as well as we send out an email blast for every podcast episode. So we'll have all that information in there for everyone to click on and make it really accessible for them. So, Mark, I'm overwhelmed by everything that we need to do. And I feel like you just scratched the surface of everything that needs to happen.
Yeah, I could talk for hours about this. And actually, over the summer, I was speaking at a DJ convention, and the MC said, Mark, most of the other speakers sprinkle us with knowledge. You blasted us with a fire hose. And so I tend to, whether that's good or bad, but I hope that I was able to give some value here. And Kevin, it was so nice to be here and hang out with you. Kevin and I have been on the same stages before, virtual and live, and we've never met. And so it was really great to meet you virtually in person.
I appreciate it, Mark. All right. So, folks, we'll have all Mark's information again on the show notes and in the email blast. If you don't sign up, make sure you do on the website to sign up for the email blast so you get all the information as well. So, Mark, we can't thank you enough. And, folks, that'll be it for another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Mind Your Wedding Business, brought to you by Wedding IQ. If you've got a topic you'd love to hear us cover, or if there's an area of your business you're struggling with, let us know and we'd be happy to help. Don't forget to check out our other episodes on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're a fan, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and left a review. It helps more wedding pros find us and learn more from our guests too. Thanks again for listening to Mind Your Wedding Business. We'll catch you next time.